Mike Lane's journey was wrapped up in Magic Mike's Last Dance, which left the viewers with the reassuring impression that Mike has not only discovered his greatest love, but also his higher purpose. Before it developed into a trilogy, Soderbergh started it all with Magic Mike. Mike is in a rut since Magic Mike XXL. He has given up stripping and now works as a bartender, but after performing a lap dance for Salma Hayek's character, Maxandra Mendoza, she invites him to London to help Mike produce a performance. Maxandra almost gives up on reopening Isabel Ascendant in the final scene of Magic Mike's Last Dance, as threats to shut down the show continue to be a barrier. Maxandra and Mike's aspirations are realized when Mike takes over and finishes the show before allowing women and men to attend. At the end, when Maxandra eventually obtains a divorce, she and Mike get back together. At the beginning of Magic Mike's Last Dance, Mike was having trouble. He stopped stripping because his company that made furniture had failed. While Mike was employed as a bartender in a dead-end position, Maxandra offered him thousands of cash and the chance to realize his ambition of running his own stripper dance performance. Although Mike was initially apprehensive since he couldn't believe anything of it was true, he felt he had nothing to lose and decided to travel to London. Additionally, Mike needed money to repay his buddies, the Kings of Tampa, who had lent him money. London was one of the few alternatives given to Mike that would allow him to earn thousands of dollars in just 1 month, and Mike felt awful for not being able to do more. Mike also wanted to be loved. Magic Mike's Last Dance really brought home how unlucky he was in love. Towards the beginning of the movie, he appeared to be quite depressed and lonely. He was able to spend more time with Maxandra because of the trip to London. As a result, he developed a genuine affection and love for Max beyond anything he had ever had for anybody else. Mike decided to visit London as a means of achieving his own happy ending. The Kings of Tampa appeared in a Zoom chat with Mike. They all appear to have given up stripping and, like Mike, were probably impacted by the pandemic. Richie was zooming in from his house, while Ken was reviewing Mike's charts in an effort to see a bright spot in his future. At least one of them has experienced a woman breaking their heart. Other than the fact that they are still friends with Mike, not much is known about what they are doing right now. If Mike XXL is any indication, the Kings of Tampa have advanced. Isabel Ascendant has to be modernized, according to Maxandra. In order to give women the same joy and a sense of empowerment that she experienced during Mike's lap dance, Maxandra set out to build a product. Maxandra's narrative is similar to Isabel's in that she is in a circumstance where money is more important than love, and she probably recognizes herself in Isabel. Maxandra has some influence, but her marriage's restrictions restrict who she can choose to be with and what she can do. Producing Mike's show allowed her to break free of that and give other women the same sense of empowerment that Mike had given her at the beginning of Magic Mike's Last Dance. Mike admits that he owes the Kings of Tampa money during the Zoom conversation. They take it for granted, but Mike is serious about making amends. It's probable that Mike's buddies gave him a loan of cash to keep his furniture company viable because it failed during the epidemic. Mike might have also taken out a loan from the Kings of Tampa to cover his expenses while he was between jobs. In Magic Mike's Last Dance's opening, it was evident that Mike was not doing so well. Even while the motive isn't completely explored in the movie, it makes natural that they wanted to assist him out, given how close he was to his pals. In Magic Mike's Last Dance, Zadie refers to Maxandra by her first name non-stop. Zadie's overall tone suggests that she feels beholden to her parents because they adopted her from an orphanage, but she puts Salma Hayek's character, whom she perceives as somewhat of a disaster, outside from herself. In spite of their disagreements, it becomes increasingly obvious as the Magic Mike XXL sequel progresses that Zadie loves her mother. When Zadie finally refers to Maxandra as mom, it demonstrates her own development and love for her. She wants for Maxandra to be successful and loved. That required her to support her mother in a way she had never done before. It served as a portal for love. Mike and Maxandra make a love declaration to one another at the conclusion of Magic Mike's Last Dance. Mike is probably going to remain in London to be with Maxandra now that they are legally divorced. Since his business has failed and he has no romantic relationships to nurture, there isn't much left for him in Miami. Despite the fact that Maxandra may not have any money left now that her divorce from Roger has been finalized, London is where she resides and where Zadie was raised. The popularity of Mike and Maxandra's stage act indicates that they could be able to support themselves from it. Mike might stay in London for some time due to their obligations to the show and their developing friendship. During the final performance of Magic Mike's Last Dance, fake currency proudly bearing the phrase, "In unicorns we trust," is circulated. Hannah, also known as Isabel in the original Isabel Ascendant, played by Juliette Mautemps, also makes reference to it. The unicorn stands for a woman's independence, her capacity to select who and what she desires, and her capacity to feel desire. In Magic Mike's Last Dance, Maxandra says something that gives rise to the idea of the unicorn, which stands for a dream coming true. Here, the unicorn serves a woman's desires, making a wish come true both on stage and in Maxandra's own life. Spin-offs for Magic Mike have been teased by director Steven Soderbergh. According to the director, there may still be stories told on the similar issues that still feature dance but don't have Mike Lane in July 2022. Magic Mike's Last Dance introduces numerous dancers, many of whom were in Magic Mike Live, although it doesn't make a specific effort in that area. The inclusion of fresh dancers suggests that a future film might center on the group as a whole as they develop their skills as dancers and learn the business of stripping. A Magic Mike spin-off might focus on one character's path before branching out from there. The main theme of Magic Mike's Last Dance is a woman's liberation. The main emphasis of the movie is Maxandra and her efforts to create something independent of her ex-husband. She is in charge and has control, yet there are still barriers in her way, preventing her from progressing as far as she would like due to unseen ropes that are holding her back. It has also been proven that Maxandra hasn't always known what she wants and that she hasn't yet discovered her passion in order to fully devote herself to it. The importance of Maxandra, and women generally, finding their own voices and bucking cultural norms to pursue the life they want is demonstrated in Magic Mike's Last Dance.